Whoa, everyone! Welcome to my channel. We are just gonna I almost choked on. We're gonna have some Vlad and Kitty talk, and we're gonna talk about all kinds of awesome things. So I hope that you will join us. And don't mind the little puppy in the background. That's Pathos, and she's a little bit annoyed. She's tearing apart her stuffed bear. So let's see. All right. I think everything is good. So how have y'all been? Y'all been busy watching the P. Diddy stuff? A little bit crazy. Ellen DeGeneres took off to, where'd she go, to Russia? Was it the UK? I think she went to the UK. She's hiding. I don't think they're going to harbor her because the Fallen Angels Covenant says that when they find out what we've done, nobody will harbor us. Yep, that's what it says. All right, so I'm just waiting for Kitty to come on in here, and we'll get started. Let's see who. Have you been watching? Who else? Oprah. I think they're looking for Oprah still, and feel free to come on in the live stream when you get in here, Kitty, and whoever else wants to come up on the panel and have us a little chit chat. We're going to talk about a few things. You want to know about Milton? You know the storm Milton? Hey, Kitty, click on the link over there, because I want to tell you all about Milton, that hurricane, and the significance. Hey. What you doing?
Not much. What are you doing?
How come you got a blank screen?
I have no idea.
Is your camera on? Oh, now it's a silhouette.
Oh. I have no idea. Let me come back in.
Okay, come back in.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about Milton, y'all. Okay, that's what that hurricane was called, Milton, right? Check it out. I'm going to show y'all something. Let me pull it up. All right. Let me know when you're back in the chat, Kitty, because I'm looking at something over here. I got to show these people something on YouTube. Okay, you're back. Oh, you got to come up. Go ahead and hit the link there, Miss Kitty. Are you back? Are you having computer problems? Okay, well, she's coming up. I'm going to go to another page, Kitty, so just sit tight if you come in. I'm going to show you Milton because it's quite interesting. Okay. Okay, well, she's coming up. I'm going to share my screen, y'all, because I came across this. I told Snaps about it. He was like, oh, wow. All right. You see this? We're going to play it.
Who's that with the senator? Oh, God, girl. You haven't met him yet? No, who is he? I swear he can hear us. Hell, he can smell us.
Marianne. John Milton. I was hoping
What'd he just say? What did he just say? What was his name? Didn't he just say his name was John Milton? Let's go. Let's watch that again.
Hell, he can smell it.
Marianne. John Milton. I was hoping I'd see you here.
John Milton. John Milton. That's right, kitty cat whack. And what was the name of the hurricane? Milton.
Marianne. John Milton. I was
John Milton. And what is this movie? The Devil's Advocate. And who is Al Pacino in the movie? The devil. So, one more time.
Marianne. John Milton. I was hoping I'd see you here tonight.
Isn't that crazy? Not only that, I was watching. Oh my goodness, I was going to bring it up, kitty cat. Okay. I got to show you something else. So y'all, kitty, when you come in here, sit tight. I'm going to pull up something else. Okay. Let's see. I'm sharing this screen, right? Okay. So let me put in. I'm going to have to go. Okay, let's close this. Oh, there you are, kitty. All right, you there? I can't hear you.
Hi.
There you are. Oh, I love your haircut. Oh my gosh, when you sent that pic, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's cute. Like Rudolph, she says I'm cute. Okay. Now, did you see the Milton with the Devil's Advocate, kitty? Did you see that? The part where I showed? All right, kitty cat whack. Check this out, girlfriend. Okay, I have to go get it because I got to put in my password and stuff in this other thingy. So y'all just sit tight for a second. Because I was watching Amazon. And I don't know why. Because I've already seen The Walking Dead, the TV series, right? I already seen it. I don't need to see it again. But I never watched the last episodes past 11 on season 11. I only watched like the first part because they played the first part and then they played the second part after, right? But I never saw the last set of episodes. Well, the other night, I don't know why. I was on Amazon. I was looking for something to watch because I don't really watch TV anymore, movies or nothing. But I wanted, for some reason, to watch something. So I'm looking through the movies and stuff. And The Walking Dead comes up. And I'm like, The Walking Dead? Well, I thought, well, I never watched the last episode, so why not? So I started watching. And you want to know what the elite's name was? Wait, was it on? No. It wasn't on Amazon. It was on Netflix, y'all. It was on Netflix. And you want to know? Hold on. Let me. The elite. Kitty cat whack. Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see the show? Hold on. All right. Kitty, you can talk. I'm going to be looking for this. I'm going to be looking for this, okay?
I'm curious to know what was the name.
You're going to see in a minute, okay? Give me a second. I'm pulling up Netflix, okay?
Hi, kitty. Catty.
I'm telling you, when the Father wants to show me something, he shows me, man, he sends me both barrels.
What are you doing? Cat is...
A minute.
Do you see the new canopy I put up?
Yeah.
I took the old one down.
What's a beef shake?
No, leave all that alone.
Some beef?
Only took me 2 hours.
To do what?
Take the old canopy down.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I took it down, put a new one up.
Okay.
How's everybody doing?
I'm doing fabulous. How's everyone doing over there?
Over
Okay,
here?
hold on.
We're all right. We're okay.
How are the kids?
They're okay.
That's good.
Susie's starting her substitute teacher course. She
Oh,
wants to be a
nice.
teacher, so she's taking her substitute teacher course. Hi, Planet X. How are you?
Hey, Planet X. Oh, my goodness.
She's doing that. So that's what she's doing now. She's starting to do that.
Nice. I got my little puppy over here. She's having a fit because she's in her little caged area.
And we had somebody back up into our driveway about an hour and a half ago, knocked down our fence. Jericho had to go fix it. So that was interesting.
Okay. I just need to pull up the right episode. And I want to say, it's in episode 11, but I'm not sure.
Hi, Planet X. How are you? I don't know if you heard me. Hi. How are you doing? I went and chopped all my hair off today.
Yeah, she did.
Felina was like, no, don't do it. I was like, yes.
Do it.
Yes, I'm going to do it. I said I kept my hair long for Gordon. And I went and I chopped it all off. And like, do you want to donate it? I was like, no, just chop it all off.
Oh, they asked if you wanted to donate your hair?
Yeah. I don't think I had enough to donate.
Wow. So have you heard from your family?
No.
From I mean, hey, I'm so
From my
sorry.
sister. My sister. I
Oh,
talked
it's
to my
your
sister
Oh, good.
and my dad, and my brother. But
Mhm. You know, I didn't, I was a little bit sassy with your sister-in-law, but I mean, she really angered me to post a post and then to turn around and take it down and rewrite her post to make it sound a little bit better was just not necessary. And I just don't like the way she's treating you, to be honest. I think she's being rather nasty. You know? Hey, Planet X. It's snowing over there. It's supposed to get freezing over here.
we got down to 23 night before last. So yeah, it's getting pretty cold over here too.
Hey, she's got to go potty.
Oh, come on. You put her outside. She already went.
Hold on. I'm going to put y'all on mute for a second while I put somebody in check real quick.
It's cold here. We haven't gotten any more snow, Planet X. Not yet, but I think we're supposed to. We still have snow in our front yard over here, so it hasn't all melted yet. So
All right. Dog's going out to go potty. Okay. I'm going to find it, y'all, because it's quite, I seen it, y'all, and I just about died. Because if you watched all of The Walking Dead, I never saw the last episodes of season 11, and that was the last season. And I watched it the other night. And let me tell you, I was floored.
I never really got into that.
Well, I stopped watching in 2016. I stopped watching TV and everything. But every now and then I'd put it on. I'd watch a few episodes here and there. And so but I wasn't like binge watching. And then the other night, I don't know why. I just had this urge to watch it. And this is why. Well, I'm trying to find it. I wish I would have wrote down the episode, and I was going to download it and wouldn't let me download it. So
Must be a certain name in there.
oh, honey, you're going to trip out. Y'all are going to trip out. Okay, so this is number 15. I think maybe it was in 16. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't trying to. Well, I guess I was trying to be snarky with your sister-in-law, but they just weren't right with the way they're treating you. And well, we had the funeral because she had to work. Well, what? Why do you think she had to work? Oh, brain dead. It's just called brain dead. Okay, I think this is the episode.
It's all right.
I'm so sorry they're treating you like that. It's just not okay. Absolutely not okay. I'm just looking for that scene, y'all. It's going to drive me nuts. But it was towards the end because, huh? I'm going to find it. But when I came across these, y'all, I typed in demon face because it's something that I saw or I don't know. But when I watched that one scene with Al Pacino, and I was like, Milton, that's the same as the hurricane. And then I was inspired to watch the last of The Walking Dead, or the last of the last season. Y'all. Oh, please let me find it. I know it was. I don't know why their name is Milton, but they're calling them Milton in this.
Milton.
I can't play the whole thing, otherwise I would. So I'm just trying to find the scene.
Planet X, I heard a lot of people saying that, actually. A lot of people said that. Your last comment.
A lot of people said what? I'm not in there.
That a lot of people said that. Hold on, let me scroll up a little bit. That Obama was the Antichrist.
Oh yeah. And this in the end of The Walking Dead, it was the mayor of the town was just trying to save her son's butt because her son was sending a lot of the living to go into places where the hordes of the dead were to get money and houses and stuff, and they were dying. And she was trying to save her son, and in trying to save her son, it was just lie after lie after lie.
Yeah.
And okay, I think it's in the next one for sure. And she was just trying to cover up, and it was just horrible. But her name came across, and when I seen their name, oh my goodness! Oh, y'all, you want it? Y'all, guess what? So me and my girlfriend went into Springfield. It's an hour and a half away. We went into Springfield this morning. Now
That's the name of my cat.
Huh?
That's the name of Gordon's cat. He renamed the cat Springfield.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, we went into Springfield. She had to take her car in to get an oil change or something. And we were leaving, and I remember I said that I had taken my ring to get fixed, but I never went back and got it because I didn't have the $135 to get. It was $137, I think, to get it out. And I just never went back. And then I got sick, and it was just one thing after another, right? And so I just knew for sure it was gone. My wedding ring, I just knew it was gone. Well, we were leaving Springfield, and we passed by the jeweler, and I yelled and I said, "Stop." I said, "Stop here. Let me go inside and check. Just let me check. Maybe they didn't sell it. Maybe they still have it." I go inside, y'all, and I asked them, I said, "I left my ring here over 4 years ago when my husband died. I left it here to get fixed and to get cleaned." And he goes, "Oh, I still have it." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "What do you mean you still have it?" And he goes, "I don't throw away things like that, or I don't sell things like that or give them away." He said, "Eventually somebody comes looking for them." Oh, you guys, he goes into his safe, big old safe on his wall, goes in there, and he pulls out this little box, and it has other rings in it. And when I tell you, when he pulled out the little yellow envelope and my ring came out, y'all, I couldn't talk. I sat there and sobbed for like 5 minutes. I couldn't even talk to him. I was crying so much because that was all I had left, because I'm not one for jewelry. I'm not one for, things just don't mean anything to me. But that ring meant a lot to me. And when he pulled it out, y'all, oh my gosh, I just about died. I cried. I couldn't even let out the cry because I was crying so hard inside. And so I got it cost $136 or whatever, but he gave me back my ring. I got my wedding ring back, y'all.
Yeah, this ring, I had it engraved with the first special thing that Gordon ever said to me. And it's engraved with that, what he said to me. This ring was very, very important that I found. So that's why I wanted it. And I tore the house apart trying to find it. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was so happy. I was so happy. Okay, I'm trying to find it, y'all. I'm gonna have to watch. There's 3 episodes where they're doing town, where the mayor has to talk because the son messed up so bad. I think there's like 3 episodes on it. I'm gonna have to find it because I have to listen to the dialogue. So I'll have to do that, and I'll show it to you another time, y'all. Sorry about that. But on The Walking Dead, the lady, it's season 11. Watch episode 11 and on up. The last name of the elite is Milton. Yep, it's Milton, y'all. Just like Milton from The Devil's Advocate, just like the Hurricane Milton. Why they're using that name, I have no idea, but they are.
There's got to be some significance to it.
There's got to be some major significance for that. And I don't know what it is, but man. And did you hear? I was saying it earlier before you came in. Did you hear that Ellen DeGeneres took off to the UK? She took off because they're all getting caught because they've been touching them little ones. They've been sacrificing the little ones, and they've been eating the little ones. And I think they're still. Are they still? Did they find Oprah? Or are they still looking for her? I've been watching that. Well, I started watching Allie. God, maybe a year ago. I came across her videos, and they took them down, so she had to put them up over on Rumble, and now they're letting her videos stay up because everybody's exposing them now, and people are like, they're making money off of playing her videos, and it's like, well, nobody believed her when she first came out, and now she's in hiding. She's been in hiding for a long time, and her and her mom, all they do is drive around and just try and stay hidden. And she drives around and does her videos while the mom drives in the car so they can't triangulate them and catch them. That's how bad they want her dead, because she can corroborate a lot of the things that these people are coming up with. And oh, y'all, have you guys seen? Okay, y'all know Jaguar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you seen her son talk?
Mm-mm.
Let's
No, I
watch.
didn't. I didn't really pay attention to any of that. Gordon always knew what was going on with that, but I don't really watch the news.
No.
And I don't watch any of that stuff.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Mm-mm.
The reason I watch, I
Mm.
he goes against his mom, but when you hear him talk, that's not him. That boy is inhabited by something, and so is his mother. He calls his own mom an incubus. He calls her. He says that she's got the certain demon. When you listen to him talk, especially at the very end, that's a freaking fallen angel that's inhabited in that boy. And I'm telling you, when I was listening to him, I was floored. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, you can clearly tell that is not him. It's not, we don't talk the way he talks. It was just, and the way he tries to come up with words, everyone in the comments is saying, oh, he sounds just like his mom, this and that. Well, his mom sounds the way she does because she's got a demon in her. You don't get to be in the status that you are unless you sell something, unless you do something like this and allow those entities in you. And they did it. She did. And because she did, her son has it too. Her son thinks he's normal, but no. Jaguar did all of Diddy's dirty business. Yeah, Planet X. Jaguar did do all of Diddy's nasty stuff. Now she's trying to do the whole innocent thing, and she's by far not innocent, you know. But her son, y'all want to watch it? It's like an hour long, I think. He did an interview, and let me tell you something, man. I watched it, and he just, I mean, goes after her. He calls her an incubus, or I think that's what he called her. And then when he starts talking, you can just look at that boy. I think he's 22. You can just look at him and tell he's different. And you can tell that is not, to me, it doesn't sound like a human talking. He talks the way I would think that one of them would talk. Y'all want to watch it? No? Yeah? Tell me in the comments if y'all want to watch it. I'll play it. I just have to do it like what do you call it? Like a reaction video. So if you guys want me to play it, I'll pull it up. Nobody's saying nothing. I met George Romero. Oh, you came to see my daughter. Yeah, you told me about that. You came to see your daughter in the play of The Walking Dead. Yeah, his son calls her a priest, but he says that she's inhabited by he says she's an incubus or something like that.
Yeah, it's got her to admit she was a voodoo priestess. Ooh.
All right, I'll play it, Planet X. Okay, Kitty Cat Wax says, yeah, let's play it. Okay, let me pull it up. Hold on. It's supposed to freeze over here tonight, y'all. It's going to be cold.
My nose ice. I know my nose.
I'm going to go to my history. Just give me a second. It should be pretty easy to find. I had it ready to be pulled up, but my
What's Snaps doing?
I talked to Snaps earlier, and he
I got a hold of him. I told
Oh,
him that I found that stuff,
oh, what did he say?
and I told him that I sent it to my storage, and he said, yeah, that he's going to see if he can get a flash drive so that I can send it to him. So
Nice. Okay.
I found all kinds of like photos of like years back, like a bunch.
Mm.
When I was in nursing school,
Mhm.
I found the one of Gordon in the tub with the tiara.
Ah, oh my God, that was a long time ago.
I
Wow.
found that one.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness,
I
that's
found that
hilarious.
one. He used to like color my hair for me, and he would like do his shirt in a bra, and he would. I found
Oh my
that.
goodness, that's
I took
probably
a
funny.
picture of that. Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yep.
gotta
I
be-
found all kinds of photos. I found a bunch of photos.
Wow. Okay, here we go. Right here. Hold on. Ah. Okay. So I'll just have to interrupt it, y'all. So you're gonna have to deal with that. Okay.
I got it.
All right. All right, let me share the screen. All right, can y'all see the screen? Can you see the screen on yours, Kitty?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay.
I'll show you right now.
This is Jaguar Wright's son. Let me turn the volume up. I gotta use my volume booster here. And you could tell right off he talks a lot like her. And at first it just sounds like, okay, well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He's animated like her. However, when you keep watching, it's an hour and a half long, but when you keep watching it, the more you can see that this boy is inhabited by something. As much as he calls his mom out, especially at the end, y'all, when he just makes a speech and he's just talking and talking and talking, and she doesn't interrupt him, and the way he speaks, that's not a human talking. We'll watch some of it, and if you guys want to watch the whole thing, we can keep going. But if y'all get bored and you're like, go to the end, then we'll go to the end, okay? Have you seen this, Kitty Cat Whack? Have you seen this interview? Have any of you guys seen it? Let me know if any of you guys have seen this already. Because I don't see people playing this on YouTube. This one guy did, but I don't see people stressing on this. I have not seen this. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and play it.
And Jaguar Wright is a fully established demoness. So you know what that means. I can be that, or I could be a paladin to cleanse you of those sins and bring you back into the light. But to do so is to walk the full path of repentance. You must repent for all the things that you have done.
You better repent, Jaguar. This boy
Acknowledge the wrongs that you have committed, the crimes that you have done, the evasions of taxes over the years from leeching money from other people, from your own mother. and from the people who you marry into. All of the slander you've thrown against your kind sister, your kindred family, who you spilt the blood of for years. And for that whipping that you gave me for venting frustration.
Y'all. Okay, now Jaguar Wright talks like that, right? She talks like she's telling a story all the time. She's very animated, and she talks like she's telling a story. So you might look at him and say, well, yeah, well, him too. Because in the comments in this, a lot of people are like, wow, sounds just like her. Well, that's because I don't think they're inhabited by the same fallen angel or the same demon, but they're certainly, pretty close. But the way he shifts his eyes while he's talking, he's not really talking. He does answer her some of her questions, but when he talks to his mom through here, he's like, it's like very she's real bitchy. But if you watch him, it's like he's talking to us as opposed to his mom. I'll put it on high. And it's just odd. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna have to stop it every so often. Okay, so don't get all fidgety on me with that. Okay, all right, here we go.
All right. So, listen, this is a pretty iconic interview.
Certainly.
I don't know how this is gonna go. I want to apologize for the after effects. I'm sure that I'm probably gonna get the bulk of the backlash, but I'm built for it. Don't you worry about it, okay?
Certainly.
And so I just want to say, viewer discretion is advised. If people are triggered, this is not the interview for you, okay? And so we actually have someone here who is you're famous by default.
Yeah, I guess so. Born and living through it.
Okay, so you are Jaguar Wright's youngest son.
Yes.
Sam Odom Jr., aka Deuce.
Yes.
All right. In the flesh.
In flesh.
In South Florida. You look amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you look. I apologize. I had to go put on my suit jacket. I ain't got no shoes on, though. They don't really see my feet in here, but you know what I'm saying? I wanted to match your swag and everything. Now, let's clear this up. You're not a child.
No longer a child. I am fully an adult in all forms.
Okay. And how old are you?
22.
22. Okay. And so are you still in school? Because I know.
And why would he say fully an adult in all forms? That's kind of an odd thing to say, isn't it? Kitty Cat Whack, a lot of people are making a ton of money playing all them videos. You're right. I am not playing this for that reason. Y'all know me. I am monetized now. I've been monetized for a little while now, but I am not playing this to make money.
He's
I'm just
really weird.
Oh, it gets worse. Y'all,
He's not.
it gets crazy.
He's not talking right.
Because he's inhabited by a fallen angel. I'm telling you. Okay, I'm playing this just to give you guys knowledge of the fallen angel, of whatever it is that inhabits inhabits his mother. I don't know if it's the same one. That's why I'm playing this. So please don't think that Kitty Cat. Don't think I'm doing what them Jack Aces are doing, okay? Because I
don't get no money. I'm not even monetized on my channel.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing it to make money like them other people trying to make money off of Allie, that girl. They're playing her videos like crazy, but when she started exposing them I think it was over a year ago, nobody believed her. Nobody was playing her videos, but now they're all making money off of that poor girl. And she even says, if you want to interview me, you better not be monetized because you're going to get hell from me. So if anybody wants to interview her, they cannot be monetized. And but they're making a ton of money off of all that crap, and they're sad people. I am not playing this for that reason. Please do not think that I am. Y'all know me. I'm showing you the fallen angel, y'all. And I'm pretty sure that's who this is, okay? And that's right, Kelly. I'm only doing this to educate you guys and so that you can see what I see, okay? So, all right, here we go.
Well, last time we spoke during the documentary series.
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago. I've been out of school for a little bit, but as of this year, starting last week, I'm back in.
Okay. Congratulations. What are you studying?
Right now, studying to get my associate's degree in art and design.
Okay. All right. I can see you do that. IT. Because you do spend a lot of time on computers and everything like that.
Indeed. I do spend time with computers and whatnot, though. I feel my heart is more for the artistic side of the world.
Okay, I can see that. Well, shout out to dudes. And shout out to your father, too. Me and your dad are like this. You know what I'm saying? That's your daddy. He nice looking, too. You
Certainly.
know? I know he get all the ladies all the time. You know? So let's talk about Deuce. Listen, now I'm going to call you Deuce. Is that okay? Or would you rather?
Certainly. Go
Okay,
ahead.
cool. All right, no problem. So you are Jaguar Wright's youngest son.
Correct.
There, you had a brother, correct, who is now deceased.
Yes.
Okay, and so it's pretty much
Okay, he has a brother that's deceased. Maybe he'll talk about that. I don't remember if he talks about it, but they all got to sacrifice somebody in their family. And all these people that sell themselves, whether they sell their will or their soul, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they have to sell their will because the soul already belongs to the Father. So I don't think they could sell their soul. They could sell their will. But watch when she asks him simple questions that, like, for instance, if I were to say, what's your favorite color, Kitty? You would say, well, it's blue. He can't answer questions the way we do. He answers them all of them are odd the way he speaks. It's very, very odd the way he speaks and moves his eyes, and simple questions he has trouble answering. That's why I know it's not somebody comfortable in his skin. The demon is not comfortable in this young man's skin. So I'm going to point that out. Okay, here we go.
been you for a very long time.
Yes.
Okay. And so I just kind of want to give people some backstory. I did speak to you a few years ago because we did a documentary series on your mother. You remember that?
I remember.
And you gave full consent to tell, your story. And you didn't even tell everything.
Absolutely.
Right. You just basically was, stating what you had experienced. And it was very short and sweet. And we didn't, we didn't put out much when it came to that because you were still transitioning into adulthood. Okay. And so here recently, things have certainly taken a turn because you were living with your mother for some time. So you had left your father's house. Okay. And you went to live with your mom.
Indeed.
Where did you guys go live when you left your father's house to go live with your mom?
When I left my father's house, or I guess to say more specifically, when I basically stepped my own self out into my mother's place. I guess to give a bit of context to that, time in Westchester University in Pennsylvania for me wasn't exactly the best to get used to. At the time, while I do like being in the school and college setting, adapting to a college as to compare to a community college, it can be a bit of a tough pill to swallow and get adapted to at times, especially for someone who was very less confident himself and someone who was not very open to be social, even though he liked to talk with other people.
Okay.
So at the time, it was very hard to be very open with others, even with those in my family. And at the time, I had gotten in my head at the time that people must be very disappointed in me, the fact that I'm failing and I'm hiding it from them. And they didn't. And at the time, I saw it in myself to say, move with my mother because I saw more of myself as a failure, but maybe she could see something in me.
Okay. So you were living with your dad and then you went to school. You didn't do very well in school. And so you decided because you were failing, let me go stay with my mom and hopefully.
Yeah, try to maybe recenter myself, try to find some sort of equilibrium. And and that summer after May, that's when I moved to the legacy of Cedar Hill in Cedar Hill, Texas with my mother. And at the time, my grandmom, Frances, and Gerald.
Okay. And so
now his mother says that he's on the high spectrum, which means he has a learning disorder or what have you. And he refutes that. And he says he's been tested and he does not have any kind of a learning disorder at all. Even the way he acts, it looks like he does. But, well, you'll hear him talk about that. But his mom says that he's on the high spectrum, but he refutes it. Just, okay.
How was when you initially got there. And I do understand that because leaving high school, going into college, you know, kids, y'all are not built like how we were built these days. You know what I'm saying?
Most certainly.
Right. And so, you know, your dad, he had well prepared you. And, you know, there's only so much preparing we can do for kids.
Yeah. Suffice to say that my transition into college was definitely an awkward one, especially since I graduated in 2020 when, you know.
During COVID.
Yeah, during COVID, when the outbreak was at its peak.
Okay.
So I definitely say the blow was definitely a bit blunted by me going to community college online at first for my freshman year.
Okay.
That definitely softened things up because I was able to stay at home. I know when my father was going to come back. I could keep easier track of my assignments. And I got good grades while I was there, especially in the ones I wanted to focus on, which were primarily art.
Okay. Okay, cool. So you get to you said Cedar Hill, Texas, with Jaguar, your mom.
Yes.
And what was the move pretty smooth?
The move was basically very, very smooth. Granted, there are some things that I do kind of regret. Well, it's a light regret that'll pass in no time. Basically, the move was a simple flight. Well, it was a 2-flight trip. She couldn't book me a direct flight over to Dallas, Fort Worth. Okay. So I had to take the plane over to Las Vegas, and then I waited in the airport over there in order. No, not Las Vegas, Los Angeles.
Okay.
Before I took the flight to Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay. Okay. And so it wasn't as smooth as you wanted it.
It's not exactly the perfect definition of smooth, but it's basically extremely smooth. I'd say 90%. And that's mainly because I've been flying across the place my entire life.
Okay. Okay. So you get there. Where was your mom staying at that point in time?
She was staying at the Legacy of Cedar Hill apartments.
With Gerald.
Yeah.
Her now ex-husband.
Now ex-husband, yes.
Okay. And this is the first time that you lived with your mom since you were...
This would be the first time that I would be living with my mother since, I would say, December of 2017, a bit before that Christmas.
Okay. And so before that, how long had it been? How long did you live with your mom from 2017 up until... What? How many years?
Let's see. I'd say in between the times that I've been living with my mother, because the way how the custody worked, let's see. It was originally that I would stay with my mother during the active school year before 7th grade in 2015, I believe, when it switched to my father during the active school year.
Okay.
But basically, I would stay with my mother originally during the school year. I'd be with my father during the weekends if it were possible, or during the holidays. And then it basically became the inverse when I stayed with my father during the active school year, and I'd be with my mother during the holidays.
Okay.
However, of course, those holidays were quote unquote extended when she effectively held me with her during those times, in which can be considered as kidnapping.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, to give a full-on summary in the times that I had extended stays with her, to put it at the lightest form, I would go with my mother. I'd tell her how things had been when I was with Dad. I'd express some things that give me some discontent, like, for example, back in 2015, in the summer of 2015, when I was with my mom in a place in Philadelphia with a friend. She said, I was kind of hiding it initially, but I told her what happened between my father and the woman he was staying with at the time, and how they had that messy breakup in the apartment, and how we got forcibly moved out by security.
Okay.
And that.
Yeah, he has lots of allegations against his mom that are just crazy, the way she raised him and things that went on, and then he raises his voice when he talks about her and stuff. So I just have to interrupt it, you guys. So I'm trying to let it play out, but I also don't want to get a copyright strike.
To me at that time stuck out to me because that was effectively a similar form of eviction. And I had already gone through that twice up to that point with my mother.
Okay. So it triggered you?
Yes. You can say, yeah, it's definitely safe to say that it triggered me. It made me feel very unsafe. It developed a paranoia that no matter where I go, it was only temporary and that I'm never going to have a permanent home, or the things and the memories that I've made are going to fade away eventually. I'll never get them back.
Okay.
I told this worry to my mom, at least how I could, as a 12-year-old at the time, or I believe 12-year-old at the time.
Okay.
And she basically gave me a sort of ultimatum. If you want, you could stay here longer with me. And as far as school, you could take some classes online. Now, I can definitely tell you that a panic and fear-induced child, a 12-year-old at the time who didn't know what exactly this meant or the idea of what this would mean in terms of the custody, isn't exactly in the right headspace to make these very life-impacting changes. But I effectively said yes to my mom out of fear of not wanting to go through the same thing again with Dad, because I felt like the same thing was going to happen with the that he was, me and him were with, and the rest of the time that we were in Chicago.
Okay. Because, I mean, your mom, I mean, she's lived a pretty, like, kind of just fast life per se. So it was something that you kind of got used to. And so was this the first time that your dad had been evicted?
Yes. I would say it's to my knowledge, it's the first and only.
Yeah, this young man, that I think a lot of his behavior has to do with the way he is raised. So no, he doesn't talk like the average 22-year-old. He acts like, especially the end part, he acts a lot more mature. He uses verbiage that kids his age, even adults, don't talk like he does. Okay, he tries to use all the correct wording and stuff, and I don't think he's doing it to try and act like he's smart. I think he's doing it because it's not him. It's not a 22-year-old. It's something else inside of him. Like right now, he's talking about his young life and getting evicted and stuff like that. But I mean, even the way you're raised can also change who you are, because he's been through a lot. This kid's been through a lot, you know. Kitty Cat says, yeah, especially his mom and his dad. What's going on? He did not have an ordinary life growing up. You're right, he didn't. And as you hear his story, I feel bad for the kid, but again, somehow because of the things that the mom did, I think broke him and caused him to be this way, or allowed, when your parent has demons around them, which she clearly was involved in all that because they did all those rituals and stuff. I think she brought the demons home, and that's who we're hearing. But it just gets way worse. Right now, it's simple questions, but when he starts talking, she sometimes can't even get a word in, and she just lets him flow. And yeah, I hope y'all see this as educational, because it's going to get even weirder.
Time we've been evicted, but even in that point, it was a very light one. He basically got on work immediately afterwards, and we got both of us were able to stay with the friend he was with in a condominium down the street from Obama's house. And since
he lived in a condominium down the street from Obama's house, so I mean that's weird in itself.
My grades were so high, he even did what I would consider a mercy, some would consider a mercy, in being able to basically head with my mom early and basically end the 7th grade early, since my grades were so high.
Houston, get ready for a New Year's Eve experience that will go down in history. I'm live on stage at the Bayou Event Center, December 31st. Doors open at 8 p.m. and the show's
when I had my IQ tested. However, I am well aware that it is quite high.
Okay. So, living with your mom, how would you describe growing up with with your mom being a celebrity like Jaguar Wright? How would you describe that?
Well, the celebrity experience was definitely quite an interesting one. I got to experience many things over the course of my life. I mean, I believe it was when I was 1.5 years old when she had to take a trip overseas to Tokyo.
Oh,
An interesting experience that I have fond memories of, and it's slight traces that allow me to speak the minuscule bit of Japanese that I know now.
oh, okay. You remember when you was one?
I do not remember the vivid depictions of it, but I can definitely sense that the memory is there. It's dormant, but I can still recall it.
Okay. And you speak some Japanese?
A little bit. I learn it from the media that I watch.
Okay. Okay. And so what else did you, just kind of experience with your...
In terms of experience, moving, especially via travel through plane was something that I got used to. It makes flights nowadays seem pretty trivial in comparison. I'm a very calm person, even when I was very young, and didn't really make much noise while on the plane. It's something I was accustomed to.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever, because your mom claims that you have, I believe, autism, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Why?
Now he sounds, when I first watched this, you guys, my first intuition was he's reading a script. It's phony, it's rehearsed, but it's not. And as I watched it all the way through, that's when my spirit started talking to me, telling me that's a demon talking. That's not a script. He's really telling his story, but he searches for the right words because I think the demon again is not comfortable in his body talking the way we talk. Okay. He's trying to find all the right words and say the right thing. In simple questions, he searches for words where simple questions should be easy to answer, but he searches for the correct words. Like he's not comfortable in it. So, all right, here we go.
Why are you taking a deep breath like that?
I'm taking a deep breath right now because this is going to be one of the many instances in which how I describe my mother is going to vastly differ from how I described her in our last interview.
Okay.
Basically, the claim of autism is completely false.
Okay.
If it seems like I have autism, it's just the fact that I'm very socially awkward when it comes to people. Even nowadays, I don't consider myself a member of Gen Z in terms of behavior. And if I am, I'm very highly intellectual, far from the norm.
Okay.
And I have my own measure in which I study things and decipher things. I take a lot of things into detail, especially when it comes to nature or artwork, hence how I like the art word so much, especially when it comes to music too, deciphering certain things here and there that many people may miss. Or say, for example, when someone's editing something, I may come across a couple gaffes here and there that other people may dismiss on the majority, but only a very few will feel, but say, I'm not so sure about it.
Okay.
This, to my mother, feels like something on the form of autism that could be possible, but it's not exactly the case. For example, I do not strictly order things in specific patterns or whatnot. I haven't really cared for it. What I do care for is organization, as it keeps things clean, to keep things tidy, and makes things easier to move around.
Okay.
But that isn't a consistent thing that I double down on.
Okay. So has she told you that you were autistic?
She has told me many occasions, but like always, there hasn't been a doctor to confirm it.
Okay.
She's always been wanting to do so, but I believe even if I see a doctor now, the result is going to come up negative.
Okay. What about Asperger's?
Asperger's, same thing. Not the case.
Okay. All right. And so has she said anything like that to you? I mean, because like she's very open with these interviews about, I guess the condition that you were born with and that she's, gotten benefits for. And so like, any mother, like we know our children, but your dad he stands 10 toes down and says, there's nothing wrong with you. He just says like, you just do things differently.
I agree more with my father than my mother in this case.
Okay.
If I indeed had Asperger's autism or autism in general, I feel like my behavior would be even more radically different than so. And my behaviors to many things would be a lot more different than.
Yeah, I was thinking, Asperger's, ADHD, I was thinking more on the Asperger side, but once I watched the whole thing, especially the end, y'all, the end is so important. I started thinking, they ain't no Asperger's. That sounds like a fallen angel, especially the last part, y'all. It's creepy the way he talks. So, okay.
Than was the case. I mean, I've gone to many schools over the years,
Okay.
but across all of them, I treat them all the same way. And I'm just with my own very high cognitive function, and I'm capable of doing well in any environment, really, and even adapting to different environments,
Okay.
whether it be different schools, different states, or even different jobs now.
So you can take care of yourself.
Certainly.
Okay. And you don't need like daily assistance in doing that.
I don't need daily assistance.
Okay.
If I were in a financially stable position, I'm capable of maintaining that by myself.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you did move with your mom to Texas this last time, your grandmother was with you.
Yes.
She's no longer with you all. Your mom was arrested on live one day when she had, I guess maybe she was evicted in Texas and she drives to Louisiana.
Okay.
And then she's on live. I don't know if you remember this day. She was in a hot tub.
I remember that.
And you guys were inside a hotel and it was like boxes stacked up everywhere. You guys were hungry.
Yeah, Kitty Cat Whack, there are different levels. And if he does have it, he would be, I would think, on the higher spectrum. But when you listen to what he went through with his mom, with if they have the money that they have, because he's going to different schools and stuff, why are they getting evicted? And there's a lot more to it. But again, the ending will make it all clear of why he's talking the way he is, I believe. It's just something my spirit spoke to me about. Okay.
There was no food. I guess maybe you were playing video games, and she gets arrested. Like, do you remember that day?
You would like me to give further details?
Yes, I do.
Certainly.
Okay.
Okay. So about that that eviction, the fourth eviction that she's had to go through, same with me, and will be technically my fifth eviction if you count the one with my father.
Okay.
So on the night before that eviction, I saw the eviction notice, basically the pink slip in a yellow sheet saying, you need to move all of your things out now or we will forcefully remove it from the apartment.
Okay.
On my old phone, which I have in my room, unfortunately it's broken, to get repaired in order to show the message. I sent her the picture of it saying, what are we going to do about this? But she said to me that it was perfectly fine. It's nothing to fret over it. Just relax in your room.
Okay.
Basically treating it as if it were normal. And even back then, when I was, very quiet about kind of dissenting towards my mother's word, I felt alarm bells ringing in the back of my head. That paranoia was striking again, but it felt less vivid than it did in the previous times, like it was becoming normalized. Okay. Even though I believe everyone can agree that 4 evictions is something no one should go through. 1 at most.
Okay. I agree.
So that eviction happened and all of the things were moved outside in boxes and trash bags and whatnot. And my mom had to get her ID in order to get the Penske truck in order to move things out.
Okay.
And and me at the time, even back then, it was in the back of my head, but I can definitely tell you now, antics have been going on at the legacy of Cedar Hill at the time. I even remember the instance in which some young kids were beating up an elderly man out on the outside. And I knew at that time that with how controversial or at worst infamous my mother had been in that area, if we were left out there in the middle of the night, we were basically free shots for them to vent out their frustrations, vent out their anger, mess with us, toy with us, get popular on social media. I couldn't allow that. Not to myself, not to my mother, not to my grandmother, and not to Gerald.
Okay.
So Gerald was gone at the time, but if he were with us, also for him too.
Okay.
I was going to do what it takes. That's that truck before sundown.
Okay.
So I searched around in each of those bags, constantly looking for it. And I swear to you, my hunger and dehydration at the time, since I didn't have much to eat after breakfast, and since we were evicted in the noon,
okay,
it made me feel like that I was searching every single bag, but and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I felt like I was losing it until my mother finally caved and got me some lunch over at Fuel City.
Okay,
and then in that evening.
Now, this is a child trying to stop his family from being evicted. A child. Can you imagine searching through bags? But because they didn't have boxes, they just threw everything in garbage bags. Can you imagine he's searching for whatever paperwork he thinks he needs or money or whatever to not get evicted? He's a child dealing with this. That's hard enough for adults through the whole illness thing, all of the people that got evicted. It was hard enough for them to go through something like that. Can you imagine a child 5 times getting evicted out of home by home by home, and he's trying to solve the problem. He's trying to fix it. Can you imagine the stress on a child that puts you through? Children shouldn't even have to worry about where their next meal is going to come from. And this young man, as a child, was trying to. You heard him. He said, "I wasn't going to let my family," especially, I think he was talking about his brother, go through that. How devastating can that be for a child to have to go through and be the adult as a child? And he didn't even know what to do as a child, except for he was looking for something. This is really sad what he went through, this young man. Yeah, I think a lot of mental abuse and physical. And he talks about what she did to him, y'all.
When the sun was starting to go down, I had finally found the bag, her pocketbook, her purse, which had her ID. And I felt so relieved.
Oh.
Now, looking at a recent stream, well, not recent, but several weeks ago now, from someone who has kept an eye on my mother, which I'm very thankful for, Miss Danny Robertson. Someone in her chat mentioned that my mother had actually staged the hiding of her purse just to get some fame of the situation.
Oh, what do you mean?
In other words, she purposefully hid that bag away, even though we needed it in order to get the truck.
Okay.
And had me searching around, and had recorded me frantically searching around, and her basically talking loudly and brashly to Grandma Frances. And then once she felt like she had milked enough of the situation, she had basically placed it in a spot for me to find it. In which I did that search again, and then found the purse.
Okay. But so she recorded you on live doing all this?
Secretly behind my back, yes.
Okay.
I do not like that. But as of right now, I basically dismiss it as one of the many things that I figured out over the course of these 2 years now. Oh, well, 1 or 2 years. Yeah, basically 1.5 years now since I've been away from her, that have made me view her in a much more negative light. And
like how?
Okay. I specified this in the kind of interview that I did with with Sean Davy Way.
Shout out to Sean Davy Way. Right.
But to put it the Cliff Notes version, I've separated my mother into 2 people.
Okay.
Jacqueline Suzette Wright, her legal name, and Jaguar Wright, her stage name.
Okay.
I love Jacqueline Suzette Wright. She is my mother, and I love her with every bit of my being, in spite of the things that she's done. However, Jaguar Wright is the kind of person I abhor.
Okay.
to give you the Cliff Notes version on how I.
Okay, so he's saying that she's two people. Her original name, which is his mother, and then the other one, which is the entity. Because all of them have their own name. And when they have their stage name is the stage name of the demon that inhabits them. And he separates them.
View Jaguar Wright. She is 5 things to me.
Okay.
She is an overpossessive siren who lures any people who try to be kind to her into her den and protects the things that she owns, whether it be her gained wealth or, even at worst, her own sons, whether they be dead or alive.
A siren, we know, were women that had sexual relations with the fallen angels that created the Nephilim children. And the father punished the women and turned them into sirens. They later were called mermaids. But that's what he's talking about, y'all.
Like a dragon protects a hoard of gold. That's 1.
Okay.
2, Jaguar Wright is a vindictive thief who hates those who have slighted her or have done any wrong to her in her eyes, stirs the pot of bad blood for well over a decade, and pettily steals things from those whom she hates for her own purposes or for her own hatred.
Okay.
3, she is a dead son of narcissism who has been overfueled with the eutrophication of love from her father and her mother at such a young age, well before her double digits, that it spoiled her rotten and led her to believe that she was a shining star amidst the cosmos, when in actuality she burnt out.
Oh.
Okay. So if you understand that the fallen angels were placed in the firmament as punishment by the Father, in Revelation it says he put their wings down on one side, put their wings down on the other, and placed them in the firmament. It's in Revelation. Their punishment is to fly. That's why when you look at a star from here, from a telescope, it looks like a circle of like it like twinkles, and it's like a I don't know, it kind of looks like water, but it moves, and it kind of like flashing. They're flying inside of their little bubble, and when they can't fly anymore, they fall. And that's why you're not supposed to wish upon a falling star, because that's what they are. There's no such thing as meteorites, you guys. Those are the angels falling. And when they fall, wherever they land, they're made up of gold and silver, which is why you're not supposed to decorate your Christmas tree with gold and silver, because that's what you're doing. You're worshiping them, because that is their essence. That's what they are. So what he just said, her she's like a star, and her light went out. The demon that inhabits him is because the light went out. And it inhabit them. That's why they created CERN, was to open a portal to bring them in to go. They need to stop flying, because they can't fly to, they're running out of being able to fly. So they have to have a body to go into. That's why they have so many singers and celebrities and stuff that allow them into their body for rest, so that they don't fall. So that's really crazy. He says stuff like this. But to the common listener, they don't know what they're hearing. They just, they think about it. They don't think about it spiritually. You know what I mean?
4, she is a hyperbolic criminal with the mask of a cultist who has spread and blown things so far out of proportion to the point where nobody can find, hopefully nobody will find the truth of the matter, and to keep her name in the circles of controversy so that all the attention will always be on her. And likewise, hypocritically proclaiming to my now late half brother to never play a game series from Rockstar known as GTA, Grand Theft Auto, when she has effectively done the same herself in real life now. And fifth, and people watching this are probably going to remember this one, and they're probably going to be laughing at this. Fifth, Jaguar Wright is a profane prostitute.
Two.
A modern day Kadishtu indoctrinated by the 4 women of the Zohar to be in communication with the devil in our religious faith, and to bring harm, or at worst, even death upon members of our family.
You guys, you all know this already. A lot of you do. If you're new and you don't know this, well, you're learning stuff, because this you learn when you wake up. You just run into all this stuff. They sacrifice family members for higher status or more money or fame, whatever it is. They sacrifice their loved ones. So I don't know how his half brother passed away, but I would guess that it would be under these circumstances. And okay, just keep watching.
I wasn't ready. I'm so sorry, dude. So sorry.
That's the Cliff Notes version.
I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell.
Please.
Dudes, I'm going to hell. Dude, I got to tell you something though, for real. You have your...
Now she's laughing, but she believes him because she knows the industry. Okay.
Your mother's gift of storytelling.
I am a writer. I am a very minor but somewhat self-trained music composer.
Okay.
And an artist.
Okay.
I have the gift of art flowing through my veins.
Okay.
So that much is most certainly a fact.
Okay.
And I am capable of painting together very narratives of sort.
I was going to say, your mother, like, you guys have the same storytelling elements. I love it. I love it.
The key difference with, yes.
Yes. No. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, dudes. I'm sorry. All right.
Now, those things I have kept separate with Jaguar Wright.
Okay.
As in her actions and her persona.
Okay.
As they say, hate the sin, not the sinner.
Mm-hmm.
And over these years, over this year and a half, I realized all the wrongs that my mother has struck upon me and has tried to do with me.
Okay. Like what?
To an all-encompassing degree, she's attempted to use me as a pawn, a weapon and shield against those whom she hates, including her own family, for her own purposes, to manifest her ideal reality into real life. And that is to be the hit star that she never was.
Oh.
Or at least the hit star that she tried to be, but was stolen away from her when those in a higher position used her as a sacrifice.
What do you mean a sacrifice?
I heard this from a member of my family,
okay.
An aunt who I keep in contact with, and I'm pretty sure you can connect the dots to whom I'm talking about.
Okay, cool.
Basically, my mother's career started in rap. But she didn't see the light in it at the time.
All right.
And frankly, she was probably striking out in it too early, didn't see the confidence in it, and probably was seeing the confidence in it when artists like, say, Nicki Minaj got bored.
Okay.
So she broke into singing, and she was doing really well at it too. She had the angelical voice gifted by God himself. However, the group that she was with at the time, the Roots, they saw her as a good artist, but they also saw her as the perfect scapegoat to get away with whatever they were doing at the time.
It's not inviting.
Whatever that was, I cannot say. I'm not in the situation myself. But they used her as a sacrificial lamb. And that blood spilt from the lamb is basically where all of that hatred stews.
Oh, okay. So it was, okay, I get you. I get you now. Now, you said your mama was a prostitute. Where'd you hear that from?
Originally, the prostitute line was something that I came up with myself because in 2023,
Okay.
in I believe February or late January,
Okay.
this was in the time me and my mother were in contact with Miss Legina Gold at the time.
Okay.
At the south side.
The one who said that she's Aaliyah's daughter.
Okay.
Okay. She said
yes.
she's Aaliyah R. Kelly's
Yeah.
daughter.
I do not know the full details on it myself, so I will not give my word on it. But to whomever she belongs to, it does not matter. She is another person. She is another person like me and like mother and everyone else.
True. Okay, go ahead.
She admitted to us on that one particular day on the south side of Lamar in Dallas, the one apartment place with all the music, with all the studios, and right down the street from Zalat Pizza. She admitted to me from her own words of an instance of adultery that she committed while she was still married to my father.
Oh.
Before the divorce.
Oh. And what was that?
I do not know the person whom she was with at the time, and she did not say the date or the year when it happened.
Okay.
But she told me that she did it. Whether that was a boast or whatnot, I cannot say for certain, but I'm willing to bet that she has. And apparently, from what I've seen, having been dug up as of more recently, apparently she has prostituted herself multiple times in the past. I cannot confirm since I haven't heard the full details, but I have heard the word across the street. And I have even heard of an instance where my mother was live one time when she exposed her naked breast online for the internet to see. And that there was even an instance where my mother was naked underneath the moonlight, like she were from Twilight, a werewolf. Could you imagine how disgusted I must have been inside at the time?
I can't imagine you are to see your mama naked. See, people got to understand these kids.
So do you see how he talks? He's very again, when I first seen it, I'm like rehearsed, but true. But it's not rehearsed. It's his life, but he's trying to come up with the right what do you call expressions and the right the way he's very kind of animated about it is just odd, you guys. It's just really, really odd.
Kids are affected. And that I could tell that affected you. You saying that with so much passion.
It's absolutely disgusting. And so I basically committed, from there, the belief was basically true. She was effectively a succubus.
What is that?
A succubus, a night demon whose only methods of survival is by draining the sexual energies of man, basically carnal desires. And they do not care whom it is with, for they can switch across.
Okay. So when I was on Snap's channel a few weeks ago, I don't know, a month ago maybe, Paul Enslaved had Jaguar on his channel, right? And she was on his channel, which floored me. How in the world did he get her on the channel? Who is Paul Enslaved? I mean, that freaked me out in itself. That if he knows Jaguar enough that she goes on his tiny little channel, then who is he to her? Who is Paul Enslaved, and where does he fit in with all of this P. Diddy stuff? But the guy in the middle, I forget his name, she, from what Snaps told me, she was letting him know because he would talk on his, I forget his name, but he would talk on his channel about Jaguar and stuff. And Jaguar went on Paul's channel to talk to him to get him to meet her in Las Vegas. And she was being somewhat sexual in the interview on Paul's channel. So what he's saying about her being a succubus and about, using sexuality and all that, that's what she was doing to him on the show, saying, oh, we should meet in Las Vegas. And just the way she was pushing her breasts up against the counter to pop them out and stuff. That's exactly what she was doing. She was trying to get him his attention sexually, I think, to meet her in Vegas, so that she was like, we could just shoot a game of pool. And you got to watch that interview. Paul still has it on his channel, because what this kid is saying is how she was acting with that guy to try and get him to meet her. And he was like, well, I don't know. And you could tell he was scared. But from what Snap said, she wanted to meet him. So, because she was giving him a warning to shut his mouth, because he was saying some bad stuff. So what this kid's saying is true.
Their body to be whomever it is, man, woman, anyone else in between, does not matter. My mother lives off of a similar energy, but not solely of the sexual desire.
What energy is that?
Well, it's hard to fully decipher because it's a coalescence of many. However, to say that this energy is nonetheless a demonic one and is a cyst is basically self-evident. She has leached money off of many people. Those who had, forgive me for saying this, foolishly given it to her in spite of all of her wrongdoings, as well as taking the money from her own mother before she passed. Now, she's told me on many occasions that the money that she made was from Philadelphia, but that's not true. She was getting that from grandma. Her retirement fund, the pension that she was getting, because her husband, my grandfather Norman, was a former Marine. Her 401k, got that all from her. And the extra money she can siphon from Gerald.
So she got money off of you too?
Let me see. Was there a time that I gave? Well, I guess there were instances where I did give money to my mother.
I'm talking about, but she wasn't drawing a check for you?
She wasn't drawing a check from me, nor has she ever done so since I've been apart from her and I started making my own money. And she never will.
Okay. And so basically you're saying that she was stealing money from your grandma, your late grandma.
Yes. Stealing. Effectively siphoning from her.
Okay. But you got, okay. So back to the hotel when you guys were basically evicted out of the apartment and you went to the hotel and your mom was arrested on live for that. Like, you guys were hungry that day. And it was I talked to Sean David Way, and I've seen videos of him where he was really emotional about what he had seen, and he couldn't believe the conditions in which you and your grandmother were living based off of your mom doing videos all day and was collecting your grandmother's check.
Yeah. Suffice to say, my mother is terrible with spending, a common symptom amongst some celebrities. She's not very good with handling her wealth, and she likes to spend it on a couple of things, a lot, and not in the things that matter, but in the things that she desires, which has led to many instances where she kept the money to herself, and there isn't much money left for the rest of us to basically split it when it comes to groceries.
Okay. So you guys were hungry and homeless because she couldn't budget.
Yes.
Okay. You got a folder in your hand. What's in the folder?
Oh, I thought that I'd basically show some things to you, maybe some things I made a while, but
like receipts?
Unfortunately, no receipts. I haven't captured anything time, but basically,
okay,
I have the original drawing that captures everything that I view that my mother has become.
Okay.
I have a more quality version that I adapted into a digital.
This is a demon.
That is a succubus.
Okay, and this is an angel.
Yes. To put it in full visualization for everyone to articulate.
Okay.
The Lotus leaf extract can reverse high blood pressure and diabetic high blood sugar, or the sugar, as some of our grandmamas may call it. You can also
You would have still had me just like he had her, but you crossed the line with somebody in my house.
You brought somebody in your house?
In my bed. And you're cheating and lying to me, saying that you're out of town and you're 9 minutes down the street.
He brought somebody that was 400 pounds.
A big, thick, chunky guy. I see you have a fetish of chubby people. But damn, 5'8" and 350, almost 400 pounds, that's beyond me. You see me walking here. I don't look like that. You see the class and the sophistication that I have.
Watch this full program and other exclusive content on www.tasha.k.live.
And infested by a hive of demons. But in actuality, no. She had converted into a full-on demoness.
Cash.com, and I can't wait to party with y'all in Houston.
That demon looks somewhat similar to a disheveled articulation of my mother. I had once believed that she was a good person infested by a hive of demons. But in actuality, no. She had converted into a full-on demoness when she was completely filled with love and not enough discipline.
Oh, so basically spoiled.
Yes,
Okay.
spoiled. Hence the narcissism. It may not be medically stated, but it is effectively true. This is egotism in its fullest form, mostly. Articulated from one being.
Okay.
She has been stranded in an abyss that she has cast herself into for all this time. And in my digital formulation, that abyss is much more articulated. And she is floating in front of very olden teeth. The teeth of the spiritual beast Leviathan, the primordial aquatic beast God had sent down from heaven. And for those of you of the religious sects who know this, you know what that means when my mother is in front of those jaws. But for those who don't, it is long speculated that in the spiritual world, the Leviathan's maw serves as the entrance to hell itself. My mother is basically floating right in front of it, but she's not swimming away. Why? Because there is a mirror of tenebris, a fell reflection that is portraying to her her ideal world. The angel that she once was, all grown up, singing the hymns of God like she were an angel, thus keeping her trapped down there. Her vocal cords stripped away and given to an irreprobate mind. That is whom Jaguar Wright is, while the mirror is what she is.
He's telling you that she's inhabited by a fallen angel. That's what he's telling you. If you have ears to hear, that's what he's trying to say.
And what at least I can articulate is a imperfect articulation of Jacqueline Suzette Wright grown up.
You just taught me something today. So if you spoil a kid and never discipline a kid,
this is what becomes of them. Love, as beautiful as it is a very meticulous, double-edged dance. It is a rose, a beautiful flower that is protected by thorns. And too much of something can turn into a bad thing. And depending on what it is, it can either be something very light that can be cured, or an insidious, vile, serpentine poison that can corrupt a person for as long as their life allows them if no one stops them. Too much love is what turned my mother into the demoness that her persona is now. all of the wrongdoings that she has done. The abuse, whipping me with an extension cord for trying to vent out her frustration for her father dying. The manipulation, trying to turn me against my own family. Trying to put my grandmother, Tina, into a troubling situation with the cops in Plymouth meeting, trying to get me down to her. The crimes she has committed, from simple misdemeanors to on a wanted list in Grand Prairie. The horrid physical abuse and ruthless fear she inflicted upon my brother. The awful elder abuse she put Grandma Frances through, especially in that one call that I heard when my Aunt Lachelle wanted Frances to speak to Mom before she died, and in Jaguar's bitter hatred, referred to her elder sister and her mother as a bitch. That most certainly broke her heart. That is all the insidious things that she is now.
Okay, so when you read the music and you get understanding, there are fallen angels that are bad, which one of them inhabits his mom. The one that inhabits him is intellectual, and that's who you're hearing talk. And there are some fallen angels that were lied to by Satan, by Lucifer at the time, lied to come here with him. But the Father had already told them in the books they took out, the Father had already told all the entities up there, pointed to the earth, said, that's the dark abyss. Don't ever go there. He warned them all to never come here. So when you have these good fallen angels, Bob Dylan is inhabited by one of the good ones. He says that he's one of the ones that wants to fight Satan when Armageddon comes, for tricking them into coming here. And one of the videos that I made, it was Rick Springsteen and a whole bunch of people that threw a big ceremony type thing in a convention hall or something, and all the singers were there, because when Bob Dylan came on the scene, the dude can't sing, but the reason he was so popular with them was because he told them, because he was a general in God's army. He told them who they were, why they could never go home, that they were lied to, and he made sense to them of everything that had happened, because they didn't know. And they thought the Father really told them that they could come here, when in fact, Lucifer used Metatron, which was the angel of voices. He used God's voice to tell them it was okay to come here. But they should know better. God never changes his word. He never goes back on something he says. So there's good angels that are fallen, and there are bad angels that have fallen. The good ones are going to fight with the Father against Satan. And I believe the one that inhabits him is a good angel.
And as far as things go right now, if she is not stopped, if you are not stopped.
Let me clarify. The angel that inhabits him is a fallen angel, but is a good fallen angel that was tricked and that is going to fight Satan when the Father comes.
Yeah, he seems pretty determined.
If you do not stop running away.
Yeah, he's trying to be very serious. And this is when I started listening and hearing all this, that's when I started getting understanding that he's not doing this to be rehearsed, not doing this to be to try and get likes and views and all that. He's talking the best that he can to try and let people know what's going on.
No, it's hard to come across as something that you're not naturally supposed to be, and
Right.
that's what he's struggling with. This is not what he was meant to be. So he's trying to get his message across the best way he knows how.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's trying to
And
do.
he's not being seen the way that he wants to be seen, and that's where he's being misunderstood.
Right. And the entity that's talking is warning us, is telling us what his mother is. The entity inside of him is trying to talk to us in the best way it knows how, using this.
Yeah, that's why he seems kind of robotic, but
yes,
he's not trying to be. He's trying to work with what he has, essentially.
Yes, the demon is uncomfortable in the skin, and he's trying, but he's being very I don't want to say dramatic, but that's the only word I can think of. He's being
that's all that it knows.
Yes, it's trying to get the words out and trying to let us know that he's serious, but he doesn't know how to sound the way we sound, because he's not human. What's in him is not human. Cat. Yeah. What did she say? 100%. He's
100%. He's had that problem his whole life of not being seen or heard, or for people to listen. So now he's having to use dramatic results in order to be heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's trying to do. But it's the demon that's in him, or the fallen angel turned demon. I don't
think it's a demon.
No, it's a fallen angel.
Yeah,
it's a fallen. It hasn't. Yes. Yeah. Because I believe the fallen ones that had sexual relations with the human daughters, those ones I believe were turned into demons. Okay.
Way. Stop swimming around in that abyss of yours, looking in that mirror. You will be swallowed by Leviathan, and you will join Lucifer. And in the time of Megiddo, in the Armageddon, me, Giovanni, your mother, your father, your sisters, all of us, we will have to shed tears knowing that you will be abandoned to the fires of Armageddon, to be purged and burned away with the devil and the rest of those swayed by him.
Now, to the average listener, just listening to this video, would think, oh, he's just acting stupid. He's acting crazy. He's not. He's telling the truth. His mom is so deep into allowing the demon to control her being that she's 100% sold out, and it does belong to Satan, period. And he's trying to tell her that if she doesn't get out somehow, if he can't reach her, and he's trying to reach her, she's not going to listen to him. She's already too deep in. But he's serious with what he just said. But the average listener with no ears to hear or eyes to see will think he's just being dramatic, and it's, oh, they're bringing in the Bible and all that. But no, you guys, he's telling the truth.
I love you as mother to son, but as a person, I could never stand behind a demonic prostitute, especially one who has learned the ways of witchcraft, of seduction, and the vile ways of twisting God's word to your own benefit from those of the cohorts of Samael, the poison of God. And don't even try to stop me in my endeavors. I know what you're going to try and do. You're going to try and bring up the AI thing again. And like I said with Sean Davy Way, I'll say it here now. Those who dare dismiss my words, my brain, my thought, my soul as nothing but an artificial fabrication, see yourself out. Your brain is far too disheveled and withered to engage in this very touching situation. This is why family matters. Stay within the family. You want to bring up all these things and all of these things in public, all of these personal things that happen, these little falsifications of stories of what happened when you quote unquote got you want to bring up the abuse that happened in your childhood, all the mistreatment from your siblings when you were.
So I think Kitty Cat Whack, I think you said that. I wonder, oh, here it is. If she's that oversexual, what happened in her life growing up, or she just could plain have mental issues. Wonder if there's family history, and being an oversexual goes along with a mental illness. That's what he's saying. She was raped when she was little and what she's been through. So Kitty Cat Whack, yeah, you were dead on with that one. It's crazy, right?
We're the one who was pampered. You want to bring all of this to light? Then that gives us the green light to be able to inflict that exact same thing on you, but with the mirror of truth. I can be your crusader, mother. But if you want to test my patience, I can very well be a demon slayer to you. And by demon slayer, in video game terms, I refer to myself as the Doom Guy on Mars, slaughtering demons with a shotgun. And Jaguar Wright is a fully established demoness, so you know what that means. I can be that, or I could be a paladin to cleanse you of those sins and bring you back into the light. But to do so is to walk the full path of repentance. You must repent for all the things that you have done.
You better repent, Jaguar. This boy
acknowledge the wrongs that you have committed, the crimes that you have done, the evasions of taxes over the years from leeching money from other people, from your own mother, and from the people whom you marry into. All of the slander you've thrown against your kind sister, your kindred family, whom you spilt the blood of for years.
What he's talking about, sacrifice, spilling the blood of family members. That's what he's talking about. And this entity is talking is trying to tell her that he can help her, bring her back on the good side, or he can, like he said, he could slay her. This is a demon, this is a fallen angel talking, you guys.
And for that whipping that you gave me for venting frustration, unjust frustration, with an ox cord that could have given me a bleeding injury if you struck with the head of it. Back in 2009, when I was 7 years old, after Grandpa Norman died, after you effectively railroaded me and Giovanni to not go to that funeral, his funeral. These are things you must repent before you are freed from that reprobate mind.
So you have your once saved, always saved people, right? Or people that don't believe in repentance. And they say, oh no, Jesus died on the cross and we don't have to repent. We can, in the books they took out, repentance is huge, you guys. It is huge, but they try and tell you it's not. Why would he be telling his mom to repent for the bad things she's done and come back to the light? Because we're all supposed to repent, you guys. We sin all day long. These meat suits, they sin all the time. Repentance is huge. All it means is to say you're sorry. That's all it means. Say you're sorry. Just tell the Father you're sorry for the things you've done. And that's all. That's what he's telling her. But that goes to all of us, you guys. If it goes for them, it goes for us.
Because your soul is on the verge of total corruption from the hands of Lucifer. And don't you dare try to say that I'm not your son anymore. I have that birth certificate that says that I am your son, that I'm the son of Jacqueline Suzette Wright and Samuel Douglas Odom. I can basically see how our conversations are going to go now if you continue down this path. I boiled you down to that of a simple, non-playable character. You're not even a villain anymore. You're a second-rate person whose very words can be simplistically be dissected and written out. And once again, to quote from my musical Bible, when it comes to regards about you, why calculate you? No, it's calculated. I can even predict your angles. And I can see that you're being very silent now, seething in your hatred. You want to walk away from this to try and ignore the pain. You are not Aubrey Drake Graham. You have no popularity to hide away.
Not Drake.
You cannot hide away from this. You can't just stay silent and try to pretend that you're a better person. You need to actively change yourself now. You're coming up to 50. Prime time for a midlife crisis. Look back upon your life.
Oh, Jesus.
Were all the things you did in this life worth it up till now? And when you do, when you finally take that mask off and see what's under those achievements, will you be proud of what you did? Or will you be rightfully abhorred as I am now?
So, Deuce, that was a lot. That was a lot, Deuce. That was a whole lot. And I know that I'm going to hell with your mother. I'm going straight to hell with your mother. You are an adult, and she has put you out on the internet, and you have a right to respond. And being that your mother isn't too fond of me, a lot of people are going to take this the wrong way. However, I am very fair. I've had your mother on this platform. She has said some things about you. She has said things about you on other platforms. So you have the right to respond back, regardless of how people view you or think of you. You still have a mind of your own. You make decisions on your own. You take care of yourself now. And it may not be what we're used to traditionally, but you know, your feelings are still valid. And I'm not invalidating your feelings. I got to tell you, this is going to hit hard on social media.
This most certainly.
See, that woman interviewing him, she knows about the demons. She knows about the selling of your will or your soul, whatever you want to call it. She knows about that. If you notice, she lets him talk. She doesn't interrupt him. She doesn't ask a lot of questions. She lets him talk. And he's just spewing it all because the entity that inhabits him, she knows she knows, and she's just letting him just talk and talk and talk. And I don't know what the deal is with Jaguar and her, why she doesn't like her.
You remember when she said, this boy's serious, you better repent?
Yeah, because she knows it's real. Because she interviews these people. They all in the industry, they all know that this stuff is real. That's why Ellen DeGeneres took off to the UK. They're hiding because they know the truth is coming out about them. And in the Fallen Angels Covenant, one of the things it says is that when they find out what we've done, none of them will harbor us. None of us will take us into their homes because of what they've done to the children.
It will cause a tidal wave.
Yeah, and I'm going to be caught in the middle, but Deuce, I'm on your side. Okay? And I'm on your side simply because when you have a platform like this, it's best that you be fair and not biased.
Certainly.
And I've had your mother, I've had your father, and I've had you, and you have been the topic of many conversations and many YouTube videos over the years. And so this is the first time that you are actively hitting back, and you're not blaming the public. You are blaming your...
I'm blaming the thing that dares call itself my mother when it's not my mother.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to hell.
I do not blame the public for any of this. They can only know such limited information after all. And we have to work on so few information. Sometimes you have to make a split decision and you're not sure if you're making the right choice or the wrong choice with it, especially in matters like these. So I do not blame.
So you hear what he just said. Like a lot of humans, a lot of people, they don't hear what he's saying. We hear what he's saying because we're into the truth and we're the Father's children. But the ones that are not, that are half on the fence or not or whatever, they will hear this and they'll think, oh, that's a bunch of BS, because they don't have eyes to see and ears to hear. But he is telling the truth, and that's why he said that, that we wouldn't understand. Not that all of us wouldn't understand, but the vast amount of people won't understand what he's saying.
Blame them. And I do not blame the people who may follow my mother simply because they like her music, which...
I don't think they've heard her music for a very long time. So it's been
for a very long time.
Her stories are very captivating, and you have that same gift. You know that, right?
Absolutely. Many of the gifts I've gained from my mother and my father. The reason why they've become as such is due to the people who I've been with. I was a good kid that was given good leadership.
Okay.
And with all the knowledge that I've gained in this age of information and the internet, I've effectively become somewhat of a modern day scholar, a modern day erudite, if you will.
Okay. All right. So anything else you want to add before we wrap this up, Deuce? You got something else in the folder or something you want to show me?
Well, I guess if you'd like, I can show you some of a bit of the progress of a proof of my own talent.
Okay.
This here I made this Monday when I was in school.
All right. So you use art as a way of expression?
Art is a form of human expression.
It is.
Like many artists.
It is the conversation. It is the language of God.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a picture of that. What is this?
This here, well, it is for the pet project that I've been working on for many, many years.
Okay.
Ever since I was a freshman in high school, as a matter of fact. So that's going back to 2016.
Okay.
So this here is basically a simple articulation of a style of combat for one man and his story.
Okay.
This story here is something that started off on a simple concept. If it is said that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son so that his children may be free from the grasp of sin.
Okay.
What would it mean to a person if they loved something so dearly? Almost as much. What would they do in that case? And to this man, he would go great lengths. He would embark on a path to restore his world from destruction. An unjust destruction. But more so, he would go on a long journey to right the wrongs upon his world that he saved, even when people don't see him as their savior, even when they don't even know who he is. All look upon the fiery wings that ignite from his soul. And as he strikes upon those whom dare try to execute his family, his friends, they see liberation. They see peace. They see freedom riding upon him as he strides the air. His swords, effectively his embellishment of wings. But the true wings come from within. This is the tale of what I'd like to illustrate as the soul-bound saga, when one taps into not just their mind and heart, but their soul, grasps themselves from deep within and the internal conflict that burns them, and uses that as their vessel to accomplish what is seen as the impossible. Because for us as living beings, we are capable of doing what many would see as the impossible. We have journeyed into the stars. We have reached as far as we can in the depths of the earth. We have gone across the globe from sea to shining sea, from continent to continent, learning the languages and translating them to make it easier for us to understand, to return to the days before the Tower of Babel.
Y'all hear what he's saying? That is the fallen angel talking right there. He's talking about being here. He's been here a long time. That is not a human talking.
We have done these magnificent things. Yet in these ages, we seem to stagnate. We have degenerated ourselves. We have stained ourselves in disgusting activities which have debased us to not more than sensitive people. A sensitive people who are afraid of change, who are afraid of being wrong, who are afraid to think that we are not at the peak of ourselves, when the peak of human capacity is constant entropy, constant growth. We could have reached the heights that we see in films nowadays. We're well past 2015 and say, look back at Back to the Future 2. You saw how advanced that city in in California was.
Mhm.
And it's nowhere near advanced as it is now. If anything, it looks worse now. We are bordering on the edges of greatness, and we can constantly do so. And if not by ourselves, with each other. Because with the infinite power of growth within us, given to us by God and bestowed upon us when we committed sin, and now that we are saved, we can achieve what many of us now see as an impossibility many years later. Even if we eventually die, others could carry on that torch. And maybe in our spirits, we could see excellence achieved that many of us saw oblivion. That's what I believe. And that is ultimately why I craft this story now. To empower within us that within our very souls, that our body's cage is a wellspring of infinite potential. To save ourselves from perhaps the more deadlier contagions. To be able to reach far beyond the stars. To find potential life in places that we may not see. Or perhaps better, bring life that we have here to there. To plant that soil, to bring forth new life. To discover bounds within galaxies and within this universe. And if it is even possible, discover boundaries that our vision of the foreseeable universe is not a boundary at all, but is an extension further.
That was incredible. That was fucking phenomenal.
Y'all, does that sound like a human to you? Everything that he just talked about, going to other galaxies, it being more than what we are, because our light beings are trapped in these meat suits. Whether we came here of our own free will, or we were snared here, or were lied to, doesn't matter. We're here. We are thousands of years old. Our light beings are inside these meat suits. And he's talking about all of that. And that's what is in the books they took from us.
This is a story. This is biblical.
Dudes,
dudes, I don't give a fuck what they say. You ain't slow, bro. Nah, man, you ain't slow. Nope. You way ahead of time. And you see good in humanity. You see what we could do.
Yes.
Dudes, I see why your daddy stands 10 toes down with you.
Because he knows who we are. He knows we're light beings. He knows what our potential is, and they've hidden everything from us. There's so much that they took out of the Bible that they don't want us to know. And he's that fallen angel that's inside of him is trying to tell us who we are.
He see what others don't see because they don't want to look deep enough. And I'm sure when the beginning of this interview started, people probably are thinking this, that, and this. But like, you know, you a good dude, Deuce. You are what Gen Z needs.
Yes. And I believe that I'm the type of person that Gen Alpha will need too.
Gen Alpha, that's what
the next generation.
Our kids.
Basically our kids.
Okay.
These are the type of kids that are growing, learning our mistakes, and they're not learning what not to do. They're mirroring them. I'm scared of that. Because if the current cycle of degenerosity, and this goes beyond just the falsity of Black excellence replaced with Black degenerosity, this extends to every single person in every single race. And if you believe so, even to those of any gender, regardless of whom you are, this extends to all of us as human beings, as humanity. If we continue this cycle of degenerosity, it will constantly flow, much like a landslide, much like an avalanche. If the cycle continues, it will exponentially get worse, or perhaps I should say logistically worse, because there will be some point when it plateaus. And that plateauing point is our annihilation. Only the positive.
What you mean annihilation? What you talk about? Like the end of humanity?
So a lot of people, if you read the Bible and stop listening to the preachers in the pulpit, read your Bible. Because in the Bible, it says that Jesus already came. It says he tells the disciples that he will come back in their lifetime. There are many firsthand accounts by Josephus and a few other people that told how Jesus came back exactly the way the Bible says he would come back. He came back then, and he did raise the dead. He did bring them up from Sheol. And I believe that's what he's talking about.
Humanity?
Effectively. To basically describe the only way humanity brings about its own downfall is to constantly live and reinforce in its own negative beliefs. By devaluing ourselves to the standards that we set to ourselves when we can be more, is to limit our infinite possibility.
So that I talked about the sound of silence, that song, but that's what that song is about. It's don't wake up the sleepers. Let them have the no hope, and what are we going to do? And they need Trump to save them. And he's saying that the negativity of not knowing who they are or not knowing who we are is the downfall, because when you know who you are, you're enlightened, you're at a different energy level. But there's only 1% of us that are awake, you guys. The rest of them sleep, and that's what brings the downfall of them. But if you believe what the Bible says, that Jesus already came, because that's what I'm not saying that. That's what the Bible says. Read it. And stop listening to those preachers, because they're not telling you the truth. When you read it yourself, in fact, if he did come already, what's next? Next is when we are taken out of here, and that's when the Father destroys the earth. And everyone that thinks that we're in a different timeline, there's just so much, you guys. If you read the Bible, it tells you he already came. And if that is true, then we are on a different timeline. We are further ahead than we think. And that's what he's talking about.
Living in the stereotypes that others have given us, we debase ourselves. To the Black women who think that the ratchet ghetto culture is a form of strength, you are stripping yourselves of the true angelic potential that you can become. You could be goddesses in these industry.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yet you lessen yourselves as nothing more as desecrated idols. And why? Because the people who are in charge give strength to this debasing material, to this dark matter. By giving strength in the negativity, by becoming what it is as a twisted form of power, we try to empower ourselves in the short term, but rob ourselves in the long term. And as our generations continue and they pick up on these negative signs and continue that, the signs of destruction shall only grow further. We'll continue to mistrust nature, constantly abuse it, try to seek of ways to grow in the energy-friendly world when we're not ready for it yet, and constantly drain ourselves of energy. Try to seek ways to economically build ourselves without this form of capitalism that people try to deconstruct, when in actuality, it only worsens things for the people who cannot afford the luxuries that those of the extremely established, the billionaires and the trillionaires, have, that the common man cannot. By giving ourselves to these ideals that only exist in a vacuum and not applying them to the common whole, we lessen the destruction that it has in actuality. By living in our own bubbles, in our own realities, by taking these negative things and try to wear them as symbols of honor, we weaken ourselves as a whole and turn ourselves into lesser beings than those of our previous generations, quite literally evolving backwards. De-evolution.
Why did you mention the Black woman particularly?
It is because I've seen a lot of it recently, especially with the recent BET 2024 awards and how many people are discontent, to say the least, with how awful and disgusting that it is. It promotes these people showing their bodies around, gyrating it around.
Like Carmela Harris's little show she put on, bringing those black stars up to sing and gyrate and do all that stuff. He's talking about how they're selling themselves, their will or their soul or whatever, and degrading themselves to Lucifer, for money, for what they think is riches. And he's trying to tell them that is not what you want. That is not where your riches are. Your riches are much bigger than that. But because they're following Satan, that's what he's talking about, degrading themselves.
And I must say that I too am kind of disgusted that my own flesh feels this thing and feels somewhat manipulated by it. Even I too am not perfect after all. I've seen many of the mass amounts of filth that have spurned across the internet, whether it be in real life or fictitious fabrications, many of which have more of a tangible disgust than the words that leave my mother's mouth.
Houston, get ready for a New Year's Eve experience that will go down in history. I'm live on stage in the Bayou.
And this isn't limited to
And Lupus can get it too. So
the Generosity Television Awards. Because that's all that it is, degenerosity. And this isn't limited to just Black people. This is to everyone. It's obvious that sex sells in every industry. But to capitalize on it as such is nothing more than a short-term investment for this, in exchange, destroying humans on an intellectual and potential level. We used to send rockets up into the stars and be able to reach up to Pluto and beyond. But now, when's the last time you saw a rocket ever reach space and not crash, burning up in the atmosphere? I bet you it's been years, hasn't it?
Well, they got the spaceship stuck up there right now. They got some people up there, and they can't get them home. So they having to send Elon Musk up there to get them. But they don't even know if Elon Musk rocket going to make it. So
and therein lies the problem. There is a lack of stability. There is no stabilization. There is no order. There is no near guaranteed method to get those people down from there. And hence why they're stuck. Hence the paranoia of even trying to reach into space further to begin with, because we can't even save our own people who are stranded up there.
I think there is a reason. And I'm going to say this because, Deuce, you will be coming back to my platform, okay? And we won't have to talk about your mother. We can talk about all the things that you observe while walking this earth, while playing video games, while reading, and while connecting with source energy, which is art, because God is an art. God is the creator of all things. And when you create, you are God and you are directly connecting with source energy. And the moment we stop creating and we let a computer create for us, we are killing ourselves.
Yes.
And there's a reason why I feel they label people like you who are socially awkward. They want to put labels on you. They want to say that you're autistic. They want to say that you have Asperger's. They want to say all of these things.
They want to create a vessel to fear us,
right?
To treat us as beyond the norm, something that should not be striven for. When we are in actuality, and this is probably the biggest form of boasting that I've ever given in my life. When people like us are perhaps the potential to continue on humanity's future. People like Albert Einstein, like Stephen Hawking.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Jesus.
We are the people that look at the world differently. And we bring a new perspective. And in those new perspectives, it gets people questioning, what if we could do this? Well, instead of A and B, what if we look at this? Why don't we look at point alpha before we reach point A and B? What if we brought this in? What will point A and B look now? I said this to my mother in one of our last calls. She asked me if I was a pawn or a king. I said neither. If I were to be anything in the game of chess, I'd want to be the board. A pawn is obvious, but for a king, the entire game rests on his shoulders, and he's still in control of the players. If anything, the one constant in a game of chess is the board. Every bishop is always situated on a white and black square that they always move upon. Every rook moves on a cardinal direction of that 8x8, not 8x8, I believe. Wait, is it 8x8? I think it's 8x8.
I don't know.
Let me see. There you have rook, knight, bishop, king, queen, and then there's a replica of the first three. So yeah, it's an 8x8 grid. On that 8x8 grid, the players always work in bounds of that grid, because that is where the true law lies. It is the law of the land. In war, what is the first thing that is most important? Intelligence. What is the terrain? Are we dealing with a forest? Are we dealing with a desert? How are we going to maneuver with those? Can we employ any form of stealth, tactics? What can we apply? Because the most important tool is knowing what you're dealing with.
Okay, so the Father says his people perish for lack of knowledge. There's a lot of people that are Bible only. They won't read the books they took out. And he's talking about having knowledge, knowing, understanding. You know, when I put a lot of my effort into learning about Lucifer, Satan, in the books they took out, it's because you have to know your enemy. In any game, football, baseball, they watch their opponents over and over and over on screen to learn how they play. What's so different about what's coming? What's so different about knowing our enemy? That's why he says his people perish for lack of knowledge.
How do you play the game? And how you play a game is dictated by how it is established, by the foundation. In chess is the grid. It is that 8x8 board, well, a board. In the game of war, even though it is not a game, it is dictated by the land that is seen as the war zone. In, say, a board game like Monopoly, every piece always moves in that property zone. You gain cards, community and chess cards from that zone. You go to jail on that board. You place houses and hotels on that board. Why strive to be a piece that is controlled? Why strive to be a piece that is controlled by, that is always controlled by something hinged behind this of the decision of something else, when you can be the very thing that dictates how far those people and those pieces can go? Why be the functioning cog when you can be the boundary that decides it? Why be the materials of an architecture's new building when you can be the land that dictates how far and how high they can build? And that there describes me. I think beyond what many people normally think. Sometimes to a level that is unnecessary, but sometimes it becomes necessary and leads people to think that there's more to this than meets the eye. And it's something that might think that there's more to this than meets the eye. Oculi, the vehement oculi, can detect.
Can we leave it here? Because that just summed the whole.
Hold on, Kitty. I'll bring you back up. It's almost over. There's just a few minutes, 3 minutes left.
Universe up, Deuce.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Certainly.
And
does that sound like a human being, or the way he just talked and the way he puts his head down and closes his eyes? Does that sound like somebody that is very old, that has a lot of knowledge? You're listening to a fallen angel, y'all.
And I know you probably already know this, but don't let nobody tell you something wrong with you.
Trust me, no one ever will. The only thing that can guide, the only thing that determines how strong or how weird I am is myself. And it's not, and that doesn't apply to just me. That applies to you and to everyone else. All of us. We are as strong as we allow ourselves to be. And though there are some limitations, there are some people that have already become the board. We too can become our own boards.
We'll be back. No, normally I say now we gotta go bye, but we'll be back. Thank you. Dude, I've never clapped for my guests ever. Damn. I'm inspired. And I just want to say this. Shout out to your father, Sam Odom. for because he raised you.
Most certainly.
And he's always said, Tasha, there's nothing wrong with my son. And I remember doing the first interview with you, and people were trying to say, no, it's something. It's Asperger's. It's this. It's something. And whatever a parent says about their child, I believe them. But your mother has told a lot of lies.
Her credibility is down in the abyss with her.
And, but your daddy, as a Black man, has always said there is nothing wrong with my son. And he's still, to this day, because I called him. I said, is Deuce ready to have an interview? He said, let me talk to him. And he came to you and came back. He said he's ready. I'm like, wow. Wow. I was a little worried in the beginning. However, I'm not worried no more. And if you ever decided to get into politics, my brother, and run a country or two, I'm coming to be up under your leadership. Okay? Thank you. All right.
Y'all. Wasn't that crazy? What'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think? Yeah. Wasn't that crazy?
I think Mama's got a lot of people that's going to be looking at her side-eyed.
A lot different.
Well, she's going to Diddy parties. She's got a lot of people going to be looking at her.
Because she just starts speaking out now, I think, because she's scared, because she's implicated. I just wonder if they're going to find anything on her.
Well, wasn't she the one that was saying, oh, I try to warn people? And isn't she the
Now?
one that was trying to say stuff like that?
I think she's saying that now. I think because she's scared. She's screaming from the rooftops now. But like Planet X said, she's been involved for a long time. Doing bad stuff for Diddy. Now all of a sudden she's, holier than thou.
Trying to be the good person.
Yep. She's all holier than thou now.
Right. I don't know. I think people are going to be asking a lot of questions.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Yep. And that didn't sound like I don't want to say it didn't sound like a human, but he didn't talk the way we talk.
No. That sounded like somebody that was trying to learn characteristics that they weren't familiar with.
Yes.
If you were trying to learn a different culture, or that's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
If you went to, say you went to another world and you were trying to learn their traits, or you were trying to learn their mannerisms, that's the only way I can describe it.
And that's
You're trying to act how they act. I don't want to describe him as having Asperger's because he doesn't have it.
No.
But it's basically a trait that people with Asperger's have. It's where they mimic what people do.
Yeah.
It's where they mimic mannerisms, and they mimic words, and they mimic phrases. But it's basically where you mimic. It's like an alien coming to a different culture, and you're trying to learn what humans do, and you're trying to fit in. It's the only way I can describe what I saw on the video. Is he's very unique.
That's exactly The truth.
I mean, there was one thing that he said on there. I put it in here, I believe. I don't know if it's still on here because I had to go out and come back in. But I don't know if somebody has it on there because, like I told you, Jericho was talking to someone. I sent you a text, and I said I was still in here, but I had to go and pay attention to something. But and it's not on here because I had to go out and come back in because I had to send a text to someone. But he something at the very beginning where he was talking about going to community college, and I don't know if anybody else caught on to it, but it was something about where he said he sent himself. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was not something normal. Like people don't talk like that. I've never heard that phrase anywhere. I've never heard that phrase at all. And it was very odd. I even typed it in here. I was like, "What? Like, did I just hear that correctly?" It kind of put me back a little bit. I was like, "Did I just hear that correctly?"
Yeah. A lot of what he said was just not the way we talk. He's trying to figure out how to talk to us the way he thinks we talk in his best human form.
I mean, it was very, very peculiar, very odd. I don't know, it was very unique.
Yeah. I've been wanting to.
She didn't even try to stop him.
No.
She was just letting him go. She was just letting him go.
Because he was speaking the truth and she knew it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Old world talk. No, that wasn't old. I don't know if that's old world talk. He said, I guess. I mean, I've been around some older people. That's very old world talk, though. I mean, he said it was the way that he said it, and it was the placements of the words, and it was how he referred to himself and a different type of person. Did you catch that too?
Yeah. Yeah, he acts like that throughout the video.
It's like he referred to himself in a different person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't I don't know.
Because the inhabited one is talking, not him.
Yeah.
Not the boy.
It's not.
He's much older.
Yeah, I guess, but and his, I don't know, the eye movements are different too.
Yeah. I think in his natural state, I think it's a very intelligent being, because they all are, but a very old soul. A very old soul. The way he puts his hand on the table, the way he closes his eyes and nods his head down and keeps it there for a minute, and the way he moves his hand, all of it is that of an old being.
Yeah,
much older.
The whole thing's just that's not on the autism spectrum disorder. I'm sorry. At first, I was like, no, that's not. It's not. That's not even Asperger's.
Nope. When I first saw it in the beginning, I thought, oh, it's rehearsed, whatever. He's just trying to get off
not rehearsed.
On his mom. But then the more I listened to it, I'm like, oh, that's a fallen angel.
That's really good rehearsal if it is.
No.
But no, that's not rehearsed. That's way too. No way.
And then he talked about us being more than what we are, and that we've been kept suppressed. I mean, just all of it was just, when I heard, by the time I was done, I was just in awe. Like, who did I just listen to? I didn't listen to some 20-year-old kid. I'm listening to an entity that is way old.
That wasn't taught.
No.
He's Do you remember that movie? And it's not even anywhere close to it, but it reminds me when Planet X said, "Yes, very like ancient talk." Fifth Element.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like what it reminds me of when she mentioned ancient talk.
Oh. Yeah. I told you it was a crazy interview.
Mia Jovovich, where she played the like chosen one or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Ah. Yeah. I just had to play it for y'all. I just thought it was just out of all the videos that are being played out there, why this one is not in the forefront. I mean, and I think maybe people just haven't come across it, or I don't know.
Well, probably because it's so odd.
Mm-hmm. If you don't know what you're listening to, it just sounds like somebody, if you're asleep, it just sounds like somebody just trying to act a certain way. When you know what you're watching, he ain't trying to do nothing. He's doing his best. He's doing his best to tell us,
He's trying.
Yeah.
But a lot of people aren't going to listen.
Nope.
Because they're just going to think that he's a mad, upset kid
Mm-hmm.
at his mom, talking a lot of smack. That's what they're going to think.
Yep.
They're not going to take him seriously.
Yep.
So.
That's exactly how most people will take it. When you read the comments, if you go and watch the video and read the comments, they're all saying that. Oh, he's just trying to get back at her. Oh, it's rehearsed, and they're saying a lot of negative things. And I'm watching it and I'm seeing something completely different. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was just so not creepy, but just very telling. The way he describes who his mom is, and just
Planet X, that was a really good movie, actually. That was a really good movie.
The Fifth Element, I like that movie.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. That was a really good movie. I like that movie, actually.
Yeah, I watched it a few times myself.
Yeah, Gordon and I, we used to watch it. We used to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a real good movie. I'm surprised Snaps hasn't come in here. He's probably on another channel screaming his lungs out.
Maybe he doesn't know.
Oh, I didn't text him and tell him I was going live, but it should have popped up.
Maybe you should tell him.
Well, Jeremy has my phone. Text him on yours and tell him to get his butt in here. Now, for those of you that don't know, Snaps has his channel is #TruthYo and Crew KREW, and I think he has his Snafu Crew channel back. So subscribe to those 3 channels: Crew KREW.
I just text him.
Okay, Planet X. If you're still there, if you can get his channel links and put them in the chat, that'd be awesome.
Well, he must have turned his phone off or something.
Well, he could be asleep too. I know he hasn't been feeling good.
I called him earlier. It took me like 2 hours to get a hold of him to tell him about all the stuff I found on my laptop. And he's like, "Oh, I was sleeping." Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't let me need you in an emergency, punk.
He put out that video he tried to put out last night. He put it out.
Yeah.
Because the first one had lag time or something.
I told him, I was like, yeah, I was trying to get a hold of you. I said, you didn't even, this light is really bright.
Oh, that's much better.
Oh, no, it's really bright up there.
Yeah. Nice canopy. I love it.
Yeah, my cat keeps trying to rip it apart.
Oh, yeah.
She's a little punk. Yeah, she's like climbing up the sides. The other day she was climbing up the wall. There's nothing for her to even climb on the wall, but she's finding a way.
That's what cats do.
She has a tree house. She don't even use it. Put some kitty pot on there so she can go crazy on that.
Oh, yeah. Put some catnip.
Yeah, that's what I have.
She'll never come down.
They call it kitty pot.
Oh.
The bag has kitty pot on it.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
It says kitty pot on the front.
Oh, man. You know, they even came out with there's allegations now about the Beast on YouTube, that guy, Mr. Beast.
Really?
About him and and the touching the little ones. Yep. There's allegations.
There's nobody good anymore, is there?
You do not become somebody in this world or get rich in this world unless you serve that one and you do stuff for it. Like like Adam from Marfugal TV, Dex. You don't become Dex without doing stuff. And Adam did get that $6 million just to allow that software on his channel. I think there's more to it. And yeah, I wouldn't. Yep. Planet X says Mr. Beast is a diddler. So what is Adam? What is Adam? What did he have to do? When are we going to see his black eye?
You know, I never really, I just I told my husband from the start, I said, I just don't want to be included in anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said, I just have a feeling, I don't want to be involved in it.
When you watch The Walking Dead, those last 10 episodes of season 11, the last 3 episodes, watch Daryl. You know Daryl, the one that uses the bow gun.
Yeah.
He has a big giant black eye on his right eye. And we know who gets the black eyes. And what happened after that show ended? He gets his spinoff where he goes to Europe and fights the dead there. It only lasted, I think, 6 episodes because it wasn't that good. But why the black eye? And why all of a sudden he has his own spinoff? Because he did. Because he was punctured from behind. Because that's how you get the black eye.
Hmm.
It's a deep, hard penetration that causes the black eyes to come out. They call it panda eyes. And Daryl has it, and then he has his own spinoff. Yep. Adam from Marfugal TV had a restraining order that he had to stay away from schools. Any place that had children, specifically schools. Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yep. I think what's his name? Iggy showed it on his channel. He showed the police record.
Mm-hmm. What happened to? I don't care about Adam. I don't have. It just leaves a bitter taste in my mouth.
I know.
He's not even worth my energy. I can't stand him. I can't stomach him. What happened to Iggy?
I believe. Okay, let's talk about Iggy. So we know
Iggy was a good person. So what happened to Iggy?
Yes, he was. Well, I believe, just like with a lot of people, I believe that Dex paid him off because there was one guy that went to go meet him in a bar and I'm not going to say the guy's name because I don't want people to go look for his channel. He was the same guy that was sent to go after Shauna, that did go after Shauna, and Shauna had to get a restraining order against him. Well, he went to go meet Iggy in a bar. I believe that he was paid to go away.
I'm listening.
but he left his channel up. I think he was like, well, I'm leaving my channels up. He left his channels up. You could see all the, information there, all the fighting and stuff, the way he went against Marfugel and Adam and Dex and how he fought for Shauna. But I believe that he was paid off to shut up. That's what I think happened to him.
Okay.
Because I don't think he went back to jail or anything like that, because John X. Army went to prison for threatening his ex-wife with a gun, I think. And that's why he went to jail. So I don't think he's in jail, because John X. Army had his whole channel taken down. So I think he took something special. I think he took an envelope that was filled with a lot of green in it to shut up. And I think that's what that guy took him that day when they met in the bar. That's what I think happened to Iggy. He took the deal. He took money to go away. Now I don't know that for a fact, but somebody told me that. Somebody that was in the group that knew. So I think that's what happened to Iggy.
On Shauna, does anyone know if Shauna's okay?
Well, Snaps, I think, has had contact with her in the past. I don't know if anymore, but from what I understand, that she's doing okay. She's staying away from the internet and stuff, so we don't really see her anymore. But she's doing good. She's working and stuff. Who Planet X? Who do you think told me?
I think I know who. I think I know who. What?
She thinks she knows who told me that Iggy took a deal.
I don't know anything. All I know is that I don't like Adam. I don't like anything about him.
Well, yeah, that person, Planet X, is the one that went after Shauna. He doesn't use that name anymore. That's who went after Shauna, and that's who went and met Iggy in that bar. And what transpired in that bar, I don't know, but Iggy went away soon after that. He
I don't even know anything about him. I don't even know anything about that person.
Yeah, well, he was involved in going after Shauna physically. Like, he went to her neighborhood, put letters in all the neighborhood's mailboxes, and she got a restraining order against him. Went to court and everything. But that's not who told me about Iggy. It was another mod that told me about Iggy, and that mod was in the know. So, yeah.
Sad.
So I believe her when she said that he took money. I believe her. And that's what happened to Iggy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, another day in paradise, huh?
Yep. So I wonder, Adam, if you're listening, or if one of your mods are listening.
I don't give a shit.
I know you don't. I wonder if you've been around any children, because you don't get $6 million for nothing. And we know Dex was high up in Oracle.
Wow, $6 million.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
$6 million, but he couldn't get you guys any help.
That's more money than I will ever see in my lifetime.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And they offered Shauna a large amount of money too, and she told him to shove it. She said no. And that's why they went after her.
Wow.
Because now she knew everything, and she's saying
I could send Susie to college with that.
Mm-hmm.
I could pay my bills.
Yep.
$6 million. Wonder what he had to do to get that money.
Well, I wonder. Was it just allowing the software on his channel? Or does he know the diddler?
I don't know.
I wonder if he knows the diddler. If he doesn't know the diddler, I wonder if he knows just a diddler. Anybody.
I don't know.
And why can't he be around schools? Around little ones?
Crazy.
Yep. There are certainly Mr. Beast optics with Adam. Marfugal TV and news. The snake.
Yep. But that whole fallen angels, and you were talking about meteorites and everything.
Yep.
I was going to work. This was probably about, well, this had to have been about 5 years ago. I was going to work and it was about 3:30 in the morning. Probably about 4. I was on my way up north because I was still working at the VA. And it was, meteorite or whatever, and it was coming out of the sky. And it was so bright when it came into the atmosphere. It was green when it hit and it landed. And I was coming out of the driveway and I was going onto the dirt road, and I called Gordon and I told him about it, and I was like, it was bright green, and it scared me. Like, it was so bright that I emailed the I don't remember who it was that Gordon and I emailed about, but I guess it was like the meteor website or whatever. We emailed them about it and told them about it, and because it was bright, and they were like, oh, well, we didn't get any reports about it.
Of course not.
I was like, how could you not get any reports about it? Because it was like so bright that it lit up the whole sky. And like, how could you not see it? Like, you could still see that it was like burning, like when I saw it driving.
Yeah.
Like, how could you not see it? How could you not have any reports on it? Because it was pretty big. Like, oh no, we didn't get any reports on it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty noticeable. But yeah, I remember that one. It was pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it says that they're fallen angels, or they can't fly anymore, so they fall. And that's why you're not supposed to, wish upon a star. Don't do that.
Well, that was fallen something, because it was pretty big and bright when I saw it.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Oh, yeah.
It was big. Big, bright, green, all kinds of colors. It's huge.
And the books they took out says they fly, their punishment is to fly till they can't, and then they fall. When they fall to the earth, wherever they land in, that you're going to find a lot of gold and silver, maybe with the green, maybe you find emerald, I don't know. But that's why you're not supposed to decorate your Christmas tree, because you're mimicking that.
Oh.
You're worshiping it. My goodness, look at that big baby.
She's not very big. She only weighs 7 pounds.
Oh, she's cute.
Yeah. She only weighs 7 pounds, and she's 6 months. So she's tiny.
6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's a little cat. Little. I don't know what kind she is, but mean.
She wants to go.
She's mean. She's tiny. She's 7.6 pounds. I don't know. She's real tiny.
Wow.
Maybe she's a runt.
Could be.
Mean and has a climb on everything. She was hanging from the top of the bed earlier.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It climbed way up there?
Yeah,
What, just hung from the curtains or?
she was just hanging from the curtains. Just
Oh my goodness.
like, get down.
That's funny.
Jericho said, "The cat is going to destroy your canopy." I know.
Ah,
Yeah, I know.
yeah, anything they can grab and climb, they'll do it.
No.
Can I have a pizza? No, but
Thank you, Planet X. So the cat hitched a ride in my boss's car. And I didn't want her to get eaten by the coyotes. And Gordon told me not to bring her home. He said, "Because if you bring her home, I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you get rid of her."
Mm.
Because I didn't know it at the time, but he liked cats. And because we never had a cat, and he ended up loving her, and she actually has a lot of personality. And he renamed her Springfield.
Why did you come up with that name?
Well, you remember the stories about everybody getting, I guess they said that the immigrants were, eating pets and eating rabbits and everything or whatever.
Yeah.
So he renamed her Springfield, and he said that she was the backup food source. So he's like, "Come here, Springfield. That's your new name."
Oh, that's funny.
So he named her Springfield Kitty.
Aww.
So.
When Charlie was here, I was incubating my own chickens, and we had like 80 of them running around outside, and him and Jeremy would be out there, and Charlie would go, "There's chicken." They wanted to name them, and I said, "No, we're not giving them any names, okay? Because
Name them all Nugget."
Oh, he said, "That's chicken." Jeremy goes, "That's chicken nugget," and Charlie's like, "That's chicken teriyaki. That's chicken cordon bleu." I'm like, "Stop calling them those names."
We name all of our chickens Nugget. They're all named Nugget.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't like to name them anymore.
They're all named Nugget. They're all named Nugget.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I guess Snaps ain't coming up here.
I guess not.
I mean, he likes going on everybody else's channel. It'd be nice if he'd come up and say hi.
I know, little punk.
But Planet X, if you can find his channels and post them, that'd be great.
I'll try to text him again.
Yeah, try text him again.
Okay.
See what he's doing. See if he's doing okay. He might not be feeling good.
He might not. He might not. I'll see.
So you haven't heard from the fam anymore?
Oh no. They don't. No. No. Mm-mm.
Well,
No.
good.
Not at all.
That's good.
Mm-mm.
Well, maybe my long paragraph shut him the hell up.
I'm not a favorite, sweetie.
No.
No, I never have been.
Mm-mm.
That's okay. I don't care. So.
I think they're too in love with his ex. They should marry him.
Gordon loved me. That's all that mattered, right?
That's all that matters.
Yep. So.
Yep. All right. Well, it's going on. Well, we are at 3 hours.
I know. That's because the video was like 2 hours long.
Well, it was an hour and a half, but with me interrupting it, yeah, it was about, 2 hours.
Oh, hold on. We got 9 people in here still.
Oh,
9 people.
well,
Um,
for those of you that didn't watch the beginning, the hurricane was called Milton. Al Pacino in The Devil's Advocate, his name was Milton in the movie. The Walking Dead, season 11, episode 11 on up, if you watch, you're going to see that the elite are called Milton, the Miltons. Uh-huh. I showed it earlier. I couldn't find the clip of the Walking Dead one, but if you watch the last few episodes, she says it, and you could see. I mean, it was on the wall. It said the Miltons.
oh yeah. I never really got into The Walking Dead though. I mean, I liked the guy with the bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him because I like archery. But
Yeah. Yeah. I got hooked with the first season, episode 1. I was hooked. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is when it first came out. So I watched it like everybody else, and man, they did a good job. But then as the season started to go through, people started complaining that it's not up to par with the original first one, and that they could have made it better. And so they lost a lot of subscribers too, or a lot of views on what they played. They were on AMC. Yeah.
Snaps isn't feeling good.
Oh, did he text you?
Yeah, he said he's not coming on. He says he might go back to the hospital. He says he doesn't want to, but his family's trying to get him to go in.
Mm.
He says when he feels better, he'll watch. But he's not doing well right this second.
Mm-hmm. Well,
It's so ironic because him and Gordon would joke around with each other saying, "Oh, who's gonna go first, me or you? Are you gonna beat me, or am I gonna beat you?" Those bastards.
yeah.
I mean, I know, like, I would tell him too. I just stop. I said, "That's not funny. Stop. You just stop joking around about that."
No,
They thought it was funny. I
Yep.
didn't think it was funny.
Yep. Well, you watch. Snaps will be on someone's channel tomorrow screaming bloody murder at somebody. Because he just can't help himself.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
But a soft channel like ours, no. Not as fun.
No, I know. But I have this book. It says Dear Asshole.
Oh, my. What kind of book is it?
It talks about assholes that you have to come into contact with in your daily life.
That's funny.
I had to buy it. I bought it over a year ago. I bought it because I was having such a bad day, and somebody told me about the book, and I told Gordon, I was like, you know what I want to do? I said I want to like read one story out of it like once a week on YouTube. He goes, no. I was like, why not? He goes, because that's just not you. And I go, what the fuck, it ain't. I said, yes, it is. He goes, He goes, you're not doing that. And I go, why not? He goes, you can't do that. I go, what do you mean I can't do that? He goes, because. He goes, you can't do that. Okay, so let me see. Let me get this. Let me show you. He goes, you can't do that. He goes, no, you can't do that. All right, fine, whatever. So anyway.
Oh, my. Well, that says a mouthful.
It's just, It's got 101 tear out letters that you can give to the asshole in your life.
Wow.
And it's got little letters in here that you can give to the person that's giving you a bad day, making your day horrible.
Oh.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. I bought this when I was having a bad day, and somebody told me about the book, and I said, I'm going to go buy the book. And I did.
You never know.
Yes. 101 tear out letters to the morons who muck up your life.
Ah.
Yes. Restaurant server. The person who stole my parking space. Person who had this library book before me.
Ah. Yeah, those are pretty funny.
Yeah, there's all kinds. Person who works in the shoe department. House guest who overstayed your welcome. This one.
I can't read it.
Dear asshole who keeps showing up without calling.
Oh my. If you ain't doing nothing wrong.
No, that's... I hate people that show up to my house without calling or texting.
Yeah.
That's very rude. Person who stole my pen. There's one for everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. I'm just falling asleep on you. I'm sorry.
Let's end it. I tried to
Okay.
get Snap to come on, but he wouldn't come on.
Yeah. All right. So I hope you like the information. And it's stuff that y'all can find out on your own. But thanks for coming and watching. Awesome having you all here. You have a great night. And thank you, Giddy, for coming up here and hanging out with us.
Get down.
Get cat. And y'all have a blessed night. And take care. All right.
Bye.
Love you all. All right. Bye, Kitty.
Bye.